this afternoon. Come on, put your hands together for him. Mr. President, over to you.
Thank you very much. Please have your seat. Our dear Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, members of Parliament, our regional chairman, the executives of the region, members of this community, our dear Tushao, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great honor and privilege to be here this afternoon going into evening. And what Joel did not say to you was that day in Perica. I was there because the plantain farmers did not have any market for their plantains. And they were told, the government then told them, we can't deal with that, y'all can dump it. And I was there at Perica speaking to the farmers when I called out Joel and asked him to listen to the challenge of the people then. These things are interesting. Today, like so many of the ministers, I went to the Pomeroon. And I have had the joy of going to the Pomeroon from since I was very, very young. Still in secondary school. That is one of the good things with being in the People's Progressive Party and the PYO. And then I had the joy of working in the Pomeroon as a planner. And what I heard today, and I made mention to this in the meetings, was an extraordinary story of human transformation, where the aspiration in the Pomeroon, this is in the Pomeroon, they weren't even dreaming in those days, PM, of becoming a teacher or having a nursery school. And the aspirations now is about paved roads, airstrip, medical degrees, and not a single complaint. NDIA, the Tushao pointed out to me, after all the rain, look at the level of the water, the dredging of the Pomeroon River, the investment, and people don't see this, the investment of creating a link from the main creek into the farmland, into the sawmill. It was an amazing story, and I left saying to myself, you can be easily carried away because there are two worlds today. The social media world and the real world. And when you're connected to the people and you're on the ground working with the people, you get to enjoy the real world, where people feel development, where people understand development. And I was going to give the same example in Dargir. I met young people there who for the first time are becoming trained teachers from their village, trained graduate teachers from their village. They're moving from a community worker to a midwife. Moving from a community worker to a midwife. This is an amazing story of human transformation that is taking place. That is not told. That is not told. So these meetings allow you a chance also to rekindle hope in people. Because if you live in the social media world, you will see two things about this commissioning. You will see the brand new spanking airstrip, and you will see crows that were flying, looking for dead meat. And those will be two narratives. When we launched the Karasaba Airport, and we spoke about that from a natural disaster perspective, it went unheralded. And then the Prime Minister went in when everything else was flooded in Karasabai. He was able to land on the airstrip. Just 3 years ago, 2 years ago, Jerry, it would have took you 1.5 months, 6 weeks to land back there. But you could have landed in the greatest of disasters. So, we are in a good place. We just have to keep our hands on the steering wheel and not deviate from the plan. We just have to continue to be people-centered and continue to be people-focused. And I say to Essecubo, with unashamedly, if you take the collective history of our country and add up all the money that has been invested in Region 2 and take the last 5 years and add it up, it outpaced the collective history by leaps and bounds. And one can say maybe you have more revenue, but that is not the only part of the equation. You have to have a vision, and you have to have the commitment to do it. Like I told the Tushao, you're already speaking, Tushao, about how we maximize this investment. And I want to speak a bit about that. Because as was recognized earlier, this airstrip was there. Even long before the village came into existence, by titling. How now we catalyze this investment for what can take off here? And we are already on top of that. Tomorrow, you will see an advertisement in a newspaper to complete the entire mainstay road. All 4+ kilometers in asphalted road. Tomorrow, we didn't just design this and sat back and hope. We designed this, we built it, and we already knew where we were going. So not 1 kilometer anymore. We are going the full length in the full journey and finish that. And I want to see the village of Mainstay offering luxury cabins for persons who can afford it to own a cabin on the lake. I want to see the next time I fly in the Ministry of, and let me tell you, the Ministry of Agriculture, Zulfi, Mustafa, and your team, hats off to you, every single village, in compliment of the work of the NDIA Ministry of Agriculture. When we land here to show, you must be producing 15, 20,000 pounds of pepper. When the development bank comes, every household must have a modern shade house outside of here producing pepper. Let me say this. You produce it, we will back you with a processing facility. But we're turning the wheels around a bit now. Everybody got to get on board. You produce it, we will back it. You can't back it, then produce it. We're going to reverse the formula a bit. We're going to support you with the Ghana Development Bank. Get up the production, we will back it. The People's Progressive Party Civic will back it. 100%. Let me tell you, without a doubt, Guyana produces the finest pineapples in the world. Without a doubt. And also, without a doubt, in Guyana, Mainstay produces one of the finest pineapples in Guyana. I don't know how many of you had the honor of eating a pineapple in Mainstay. Now, if you never had the honor, before you leave here today, eat the pineapple right here in Mainstay. Don't get it knocked in your car and so. I am telling you, and then cast your own judgment. A few years ago, I came here one heritage as president, and I had a good friend who I'm sure is smiling down from wherever he is, in the heavenly place, not seeing this investment, Mike Charles. And we are known to do things that are interesting. Can't remember if Sheldon was with us. But we managed to escape security. And Tusha will tell you, I may have a record of the longest swim along the Mainstay Lake. Everybody was looking for us, and they saw two men taking a long swim. We swam until we swam through barbed wire. And then when we came on shore, we had some game of volleyball. Actually, you were there. And then there was a big event, as I said, heritage. And an alarm was sounded that a little child was lost. And we led the search party all across the forest. We searched for what? Almost 2 hours. And then we were told you either go out, we found the young lady. You either go out now or you can't leave. Today, that game has changed. That game has changed. But not only this, we've invested in additional ferries to support tourism and the development here. You know, I speak about the social media world, Dr. Vindy, and something hurt me tremendously in the last 2 weeks. It was very painful for one reason. Nothing to do with me, but to do with people who I have a lot of respect and regards for. When those winds came, the squall, whilst the wind was ongoing, we mobilized and left Georgetown with the military. We came here with the military, our men and women in uniform. Immediately, in the night, the darkness of the night, the military was putting tarpaulin on roofs so people could have been safe. In the night, until 4 a.m. Simultaneously, they're restoring the roof at Riverstone Primary School, the Anna Regina, the Department of Education, the Anna Regina School, and the Flora Nursery School. So the children could have gone back the next day unaffected because it was examination period. The military, within 96 hours, restored 152 roofs. 152 families in 96 hours. They covered 22 villages. Minister Ramraj was deployed permanently. GPL worked 24 hours to restore power fully by 9 p.m. that night. And one man who considers himself a leader, find one person who, benefited and discounted everything else that was done. Today, I ask you to correct that in justice and in gratitude by giving a huge round of applause to our men and women in uniform. I remember coming that night and going to visit the teacher who was injured. And the doctor, starry-eyed doctor, I remember the dazzle in her eyes when she told me, Mr. President, within 3 minutes on arrival at Limestand, she was in the CT scan. She said, you know, just months ago, not even a year ago, we would have had to wait it the next morning for a medevac to pick her up. That is the difference. That is the difference. Many experiences. Edric, you know, when we had a regatta and one of the Bell brothers got injured, we could not have landed anywhere. I was the Minister of Tourism, watching a man injured in the regatta. And what separated life and death was the inability to land, to pick up the injured person. That today is fixed. My friends, life is an onward journey. We will all journey past what is expected of us, and we'll all arrive at our destination. But the finality of life is decorated by the way we traverse the journey, by the decisions we make along that journey, by the values we uphold along that journey, and by what we stood for along that journey. It is not measured how many times you got it right or wrong. It is measured by how many times you fought for what was right. A battle sometimes is simplified by win or lose. But in the short term, you may believe that you have lost a battle when you fight for principle. But years after, there are inheritors who would understand the nature of that battle. And Dr. Jagan is a shining example of that. 28 years of relentless battle in opposition, winning elections and cheated out of office, but never ever left the journey of what was needed. And I say to all of us today, here in Ezekiel, the People's Progressive Party Civic has battled with you in every crisis. Rice, floods, every battle, education, sea defense. How easy you forget that there was a time when $0 was budgeted for your sea defense in this region. We came back and built back the entire sea defense system. We are not a one-off friend. And it definitely, like any family, it affects you when you battle for your brothers and sisters, you battle for your fellow Guyanese. You battle when you're down on your knees with rice. We step in and we battle. And every time you rise, you forget who was there when you were down on your knees. That is not how you create strength. Opportunism is never the answer in life. if our approach is opportunism, we will never win. You will never win. But if our approach is, as all the books teach us, from a position of gratefulness and thanksgiving, we will always win. We will always win. And this region has seen enormous investment that should allow us the comfort of knowing that the People's Progressive Party Civic has always made the investment to make Region 2 win. You celebrate all the success at Anna Regina, 15, 20 students with 20 subjects CXC. That was not accidental. That was because of investment. That was because of belief. Let us not gamble with this type of approach to development. So I'm indeed very thankful that we can celebrate this enormous accomplishment today. Today's ceremony goes beyond this airstrip. It extends further than the length and width of the runway. It goes much deeper and higher than the aircraft that will land or ascend from this location. Building an airstrip is about connection. It is about inclusion. It is about one Guyana in action. One Guyana underpins what we do economically, politically, and socially. It stands at the very core of our philosophy of government. On that note, I thank the Ministry of Public Utilities and Aviation and the staff, Civil Aviation Authority, and the Ministry of Public Works for the enormous work in having this project completed. One Guyana is about narrowing economic gaps. One Guyana is about making inclusion our mission. One Guyana is about ensuring that geography becomes less of a barrier to opportunity. One Guyana is about ensuring that no community is too far or too small to matter. You know, I see the joy in people's face when they get an opportunity to beat you. And I've been speaking about the refinery. And I see smirk on some media people's face when they come. What is happening with the refinery? Well, hold tight. Hold straight. We will get there. We will get there. One Guyana is about inclusion, equality, and national integration. And if that is our goal, then we must ask a simple but powerful question. How do you integrate a country that is vast, diverse, and geographically challenging? How do we ensure equality of opportunity in a nation of rivers, mountains, forests, savannas, and rich agricultural plains? The answer is through infrastructure. You do it with infrastructure. And when we speak of infrastructure, you must think beyond roads. You must think beyond bridges. True infrastructure is about roads, bridges, ports, and airstrip. But infrastructure is also about fiber optic cables, digital connectivity. It is about our rivers and our seas. It is about our laws. If our laws are not integrated, then our infrastructure will rest on very fragile ground. It's about every mode of connection that binds this nation together. It's about our labor force, how they're equipped. Infrastructure is access. Infrastructure is opportunity. Infrastructure is about unlocking potential. When infrastructure comes, opportunity follows. When access improves, inequality shrinks. When communities are connected by air, by sea, by road, by bridge, or by broadband, nations are strengthened. And this is why infrastructure in all its form plays a pivotal role in integrating our country. It plays a central role in equalizing opportunities. It plays a decisive role in narrowing inequalities. And this is especially true of airdromes and airstrips. In a country like Guyana, airstrips are not luxuries, they are lifelines. An airstrip reduces travel time, not by minutes, but by days. It reduces isolation, not by degrees, but by transformations. Today, we are in Region 2, a region defined by its agricultural abundance, its industrious people, and its strategic position along our coast. For decades, Region 2 has helped to feed the nation. Your rice, your cash crop, your fishery, your livestock have sustained Guyanans. But for too long, the farmers, producers, and commercial businesses of this region have faced logistical challenges. That is why our infrastructure agenda is built on a growth model. Let me make this clear. Our infrastructure agenda is built on a growth model. And a growth model is an important concept in economic diversification. The growth model is about creating new areas of economic empowerment, new areas of economic opportunities, and new areas for jobs and investment. And that is why when you look at Lethem, Rose Hall, Palmyra, Carrigaton, Skeldon, Mainstay, Linden, Mabaruma, Mahdia, Parika, we are creating these nodes for economic growth and expansion. All of it interconnected. Soon we'll be launching the interconnection of our cities, because each growth area represents a different type of opportunity. And that is what we're doing. You know, Figueira is here. The bridge, many people are still in awe at the Barjak Demerara Bridge. But we are now completing the Wisma Bridge. Beautiful. We are embarking on the Berbice River Bridge. We are embarking on the Kurpukari Bridge. We are building all of the bridges in Region 6 and Region 2. You will have your 4-lane road here in Region 2. We have already extended the Mabura Hill Road to another 30 kilometers. That will take us to the crossing. That will now take us to the Kurpukari crossing. So we are not sitting on success. We are building on success. Because the end game is about the creation of these economic opportunities that are coming our way. Today, we had 25 of the finest corporations out of the UAE coming in to meet us in 24 hours. Whilst others have the luxury of waking up and making a post, we had people all night working with that delegation. This morning, before we come to Essequibo, a full session with the delegation. And why are they here? Why would they leave the UAE on a private jet to come here? Because they see the land of opportunity. The US, Qatar, India, the Afri-Exim Bank, name it. Guyana is at the forefront of their sight. Why? And Eggy will tell you. One, they see a system that is investment friendly. Two, they see predictability in policy making. Three, they see a government that is open for investment. Four, they see confidence. They have confidence in what they see and what is taking place in the country. It doesn't happen by accident. Position in Guyana is not an accidental thing. It is hard work. Hard work. And every time when you fight the position, we talk about tourism, Tushao. Every time some joker believe that it is beautiful to publish a negative image of Guyana, they affect you. And then they come to ask you to vote for them.
Correct. Correct.
There must be a separation of national interest and political interest. No political interest must put at risk the national interest. If you want, like we do, to build tourism, and these individuals come to mainstay, and they seek to highlight 3 negative things and forget all the good things you're doing, it is your brand that is being affected. We have to see, we have to analyze, we have to make better decisions. And as night falls, I close this chapter today by saying to you, we love you, we have regards and respect for you, but you must understand, in the People's Progressive Party civic government, you have a partner you can trust, you can confide in, you can go to bed knowing that they're committed to everything that we say we will do, and a partner that will sacrifice for you. And in any marriage, such a partner requires a special position in your heart. I thank you, and God bless you.
Okay.